I've dated someone who is purely Ghanaian, right? And then I've dated someone who is purely American. And neither of those situations actually worked for me.
And I'm big boss. You know what I'm saying? The big boss. Yeah, I call all the shots. I said, Ma, I met a woman. I love her. I'm ready to marry her. And we're going to do it on this day, this day. My mom said, wait, what are we talking about here, boy? Like,
Let's go get themselves a black king from Africa, right? And so,
it's his duty and responsibility to bend to your will just because he likes you, just because you're pretty, just because you come with a beautiful smile, maybe a big booty. Like, what is it? Like, I respect a man who's like, I'm effed up. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Versus,
are you really ready for
what
do you
is
have the
coming?
Understanding of what it is to marry like this Ghanaian man?
Do you just want a husband or do you want to be a wife?
Yeah, exactly. But she's a woman, I'm a woman, she's got kids, I got kids. It's not a comparison like that. Oh, yeah, I've been there.
The labor that we used to do as kids. You know what I'm saying? But
floor.
yeah,
The carpet.
sweeping carpet.
It's when you have children with this African man, be prepared to raise your children as African children.
African
that way.
What works the best is a household where you know that, like, damn, I can't get over on dad, I can't get over on mom. Like,
yeah, and they're rolling.
See me rolling, they hating, patrolling, they trying to catch me riding dirty.
Ay, ay, ay.
Hello world, it's me again. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Thank you for joining us at tea time. Cheers.
Yes.
To more to love.
More to love. We need more love in the world, don't we?
oh,
Let's
Charlie.
hate. More love, less
People be
hate.
hating on. They hating on me. And whatever Chris Brown said.
Oh, God.
How we doing, y'all?
Okay.
How we doing, that love?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Fine. Damn, clean up nice for the show. So you clean up for them, you don't clean up for me yet.
Hey! What? Cheeky.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we talking about today?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of More to Love. Today, we're going to be talking about cultural differences in relationships and how that affects that, if it does affect that, in fact. And so I'm here with my co-hosts.
Biggs Almighty. The one who's always getting bullied into podcast.
Oh, only small bullying.
Yes, it's me.
Yes.
So cultural what?
Cultural differences
What
in
do
relationships.
you just wake up and you just make up whatever
Yes.
title you want to?
You don't know. No, because I actually did an interview on another channel, but this is something that I wanted to speak to the audience about anyway, because I believe that cultural differences really do make a difference in a relationship. And even just looking at my relationship with you, there are certain things that I think, oh my gosh, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to. Because like I've dated someone, okay.
Hey,
So,
the numbers have begun. Okay, go ahead, tell us the cats.
I've dated someone who is purely Ghanaian, right? And then I've dated someone who is purely American. And neither of those situations actually worked for me. Because there was so
Why
much
didn't they work?
difference. Even though I'm Ghanaian myself, I have exposure to the West, and so there were some things that we just couldn't get over that just didn't work. And even with the American guy that I dated, he doesn't understand the culture, and it was just like so much work having to like try to explain, like, you don't, it's just easier if you're with someone who's understands your background and where you're coming from. So someone like you who is Ghanaian, but you also have some culture from the West as well. There's some understanding there. So it makes it easier for us to relate to each other in the relationship. That's my thoughts anyway.
True. I definitely think cultural practices, cultural beliefs, they're all foundational like aspects of a relationship that you should definitely observe and try your best to get a better understanding of before coupling with a person, right? You know, we're here to push and support life partnerships, right? Because what are we conjoining for if it's not to do this thing called life together?
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's heavy for me because I would give an example where I recall calling my mother You know, when I was this young whippersnapper, thought, you know, I'm the man, I'm big boss. You know what I'm saying? The big boss. Yeah, I call all the shots. I said, Ma, I met a woman, I love her, I'm ready to marry her, and we're gonna do it on this day, this day. My mom said, wait, what are we talking about here, boy? Like, slow your roll. What are you talking about? Prideful me, egotistical me, you name it. I was like, I've said what I said. Like, this is happening, you know, I'm in love. This is the next step. I was like, we don't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that is, in my opinion, that's one of the it's like moving here young came with advantages and disadvantages, right? It's like, even though I am culturally aligned, my Ghanaian ways, it's like a young mindset type of cultural understanding of Ghana, right? That I felt like even to this day, I'm still constantly learning. And even for me specifically, culturally, there's some things that are done out of the ordinary in comparison to the normal citizen, right? When you come from a royal lineage, there are things that you do that are done way different. Like, it's literally, you're being taught like manners, etiquettes, like how to carry yourself, all of these things. And I got some grooming to a certain degree, but when I came here as a, teenager, I'm delving straight into the black culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm kicking it with the hood folks. I'm kicking it with this person, that person. So I'm like, I was a social butterfly. So I was like everywhere. So I picked up a little bit of everything, and I believe that's part of what makes me kind of like easy to step into every room. But there's certain rooms that I step into and I feel completely like lost, like I don't belong. Like, I go meet like elders in the community, and they're like their phrases, their things, their greetings, their things that you literally have to like rehearse and say, their mannerisms, and I'm like, dang, I'm so behind the curve. Like, but that's from being here, you know. So these things, if I had stayed in Ghana for a long time, would probably be like the solid foundations of my background. But because I'm this eclectic mix of African and a Black American, I am like, I'm an anomaly. I would consider myself an anomaly. Like, there's not so many people that I could come across that, like, some Ghanaians move here, they stick with the Ghanaian community. They don't step out, they don't, nope, we don't want no parts of that. We know about your hood niggas, we don't want none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then there's some who come in and they dive too deep into the far end. They're like, nope. Like, they don't even want because of the lack of respect that some Africans get, they don't want no affiliation with, African. Like, people, I remember people who probably came fresh off the boat, like, a week ago, and me who've been here for the longest time still repping Ghana to the core, and they're like, no, I'm not Ghanaian. Like, bro, your accent is the thickest, and like, you just got here, you know what I'm saying? But those who cling to their culture, you can tell, like, it's up to you to take the time out to watch and learn, and it's like, sometimes the difficulty is that, like, even going back as an adult when I went to Ghana, and this is as a male, like, trying to learn my culture wasn't easy because it's almost seen as like, how do you not know this? So your best bet is to watch and learn. You know what I'm saying? Come to the table with an open mind. Like, when somebody, like, you're going to find yourself sometimes wanting to get defensive, and you know what I'm saying, probably lash out because, like, you feel belittled, but the culture in Ghana is not necessarily to belittle you. It's kind of like, come on, we're here to motivate you. Like, it's like, and for me, I understand that as a man, because men, we are like that with each other. Like, come on, like, you're in the weight, come on, you gonna let that weight whoop your ass? Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So those things motivate us. Like, granted, some people come to the culture and they want the culture to cater to them. They want to bend the culture. It doesn't work like that. That's a man who, I'm sure he's been going viral on like IG, and he talks about something along those lines where he says, like, nah, like, you could go to somewhere in Japan and there's certain parts that don't even want to cater to foreigners, mainly because foreigners come to this state with this sense of entitlement. Like, you're coming to inconvenience a community because you want them to bend to your will. But why are you here if it's not to learn from them, right? So I think it's very vital that through any form, like even for an American, an African coming to America. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to get used to the cookouts, you know, how the family. You're gonna have to learn how to play spades. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that are considered black culture, you're gonna have to learn and immerse yourself into this, and that in itself could even be another layer of bonding for you and your significant other. You know, but it's all about, in my opinion, open mind.
So do you feel like when Americans come from here, because there's this thing where everybody wants to go get themselves a black king from Africa, right? And so do you feel like that has somehow been romanticized, where everybody thinks that they can just pick up and go and do it?
Absolutely. How do I put this?
Everybody wants a black king. I mean, sounds wonderful.
It sounds wonderful. If your love language is acts of service, like giving, not receiving. If your love language is giving an acts of service, then absolutely, like, that will be the pristine life for you, because that's what is going to. It becomes a life of servitude, whether you like it or not. That's the real. Like, when you want a king, you're coming into his kingdom. What makes you think it's his duty and responsibility to bend to your will just because he likes you, just because you're pretty, just because you come with a beautiful smile, maybe a big booty? Like, what is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a genuine, like, somebody who's not driven by that, right? It's like, okay, maybe we have some connection, whatever the case is, but they know their priority. Like, in my opinion, a king has his priorities straight. You know what I'm saying? He knows his priority. And most women, I find it so weird and twisted, right? Most women will see that, and that's what attracts them.
Yeah.
They step into this space, they realize that, like, oh my God, like, this man got his shit together.
Yeah.
Right? There's some structure in his life. But for whatever reason, because they had a different romanticized thought of what this is, now they want to try and come and make this thing conform. And that, I feel like, sometimes is the conflict between people when they get together. It's like, I want to make you bend to my will. I'm not here. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where it's going around that people say, you know, find somebody who wants to be a wife versus somebody who just wants a husband. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want the title. Some people want to be like, oh my God, look at that man. Like, you know, when a person steps in this room and he's getting attention, all of that stuff, right? They want that. But it's like, it's almost like you want that to hold hostage or to make that bend to your will, right? You want to be the person to be like it's almost like how some men almost move. Like, women are moving in ways that men are moving and they don't even realize it. It's a mindset of conquest.
Okay.
You see this king, right? And you're like, oh my God, he's so mighty. Like, I want to. It's not even like I want to serve him. It's like, no, I want that. I want to be attached to that.
Yeah.
You know, I want some form of attachment, some recognition, attachment to that.
Yeah.
Right? And when you step in this person's space and things are not going, you realize that, damn, I can't have him eating out the palm of my hands. Like, now you start resorting to ridiculous stunts to try and keep them or whatever the case is, because you realize that you're out of place. Right? And the best thing for you to do is actually adjust your mindset, readjust your mindset into like, hey, do I really want this or not? It's not easy. Like, an African king is not an easy person to...
Okay, if we're not even talking about a king, just talking about a regular African man.
Who's a king?
Okay.
Yes. Yes, as Africans, we all have rights.
Yes, absolutely. And so we're saying, but I know, because I don't want the people to think of, you know, this king with a crown, walking around with a crown on his head. Like, we're talking about...
Okay, so we're not speaking specific...
Well...
Do you see what I mean? I just don't want to...
And I want to put some more clarification on that, right? Minus the aspects of even royalty, right? Every man is a king of his own domain. Every man. And when I say man, I'm talking about the caliber of man who stands on his principles.
Yeah.
They could be good, bad, or ugly, honestly. Like, if you're an effed up individual as a man, I respect a man who's like, I'm effed up, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Versus a man who's like, oh no, I'm not effed up, but you know they're effed up. It's like that like a man who moves in deceit to me is the type of man that I would kind of like is questionable, right? It's like it's like, oh, like, don't get me wrong, that in itself is a bit of a power play, but that's not the caliber of people I'll keep around. Like, if I'm gonna keep some friends around, I need to know the caliber of person that you are.
Absolutely.
Through and through.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I say king in the statement that, again, most women go for men who are attractive. An attractive trait is somebody who's got their shit together. You know what I'm saying? So that person got the stuff together. They have dominion over their environment.
But do you not think that when a woman comes into their life, there should be maybe some level of compromise, especially when the cultures are too different?
Some level of compromise. But
because that woman may not be able to pound for you.
Yeah. But is she open to learning about pound for food, or it's
that part?
Or it's a matter of I don't know how to pound for food and I don't want to pound for food.
It's
that uncommunicated expectations, for lack of better words, right? It's like, don't come in here with the facade that I'm going to be this person for you. Like, I'm not this person right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be this person for you. Like, be straight for like, this ain't for me. Okay, now you give the person like, if you've shown me that this ain't for you, now I'm the idiot who's trying to make it for you, right or wrong. You get what I'm saying? It's like, and as a man, men also try to bend things to their will. That's just how this mess of a world is set up. Men will try to make people bend to their will. Females will try to do the same thing. It is what it is, right? But you have to have a certain level of discernment to know that, no, this is who I am. This is what I am. This is what these are the things that I'm willing to change. These are the things I'm willing not to change. You know what I'm saying? This is what has served me all the way up until this point. And unless I see a necessity for me to change this, I'm not going to change. And you have to be stoic in that aspect to say, nah, this is what it is.
I think when, obviously, I live mostly in Ghana, right? Well, I live in Ghana, not mostly. I live in Ghana. And when I see a lot of, I'd say mainly Americans, not that it doesn't happen in other cultures like UK or whatever, but I see a lot of Americans coming over and they want to date, they want to marry these Ghanaian men, and I sometimes sit down and like, I don't want to be a party pooper, but I honestly wonder at the back of my mind, like, are you really ready for what do you have the understanding of what it is to marry like this Ghanaian man? There are certain things that he's not going to tolerate. He's not going to tolerate you talking back to him. He's not going to tolerate disrespect. There's certain things he's going to expect from you as a woman, as a wife, as a mother.
High standards, high expectations.
Yeah, and you see what I'm saying? And those are things that you also have to extend to his family as well. So it's not even just the two of you, it's to his family as well. Like, we were watching something the other day.
Oh, my boy.
Right?
The Pop the Balloon?
Pop the Balloon.
Shout out to Endrick. Asked the serious question. I was like, oh!
Yeah, no, it was very, very interesting.
It was good.
It was a brilliant question.
You can see some people were triggered by that.
Exactly. So he basically said, if we're getting into a car...
We're going on a date.
We're going on a date.
We're going to a party or something like that.
Yeah. Who sits at the front, my mum or you? I know we've all heard this question before. But a lot of women immediately start to pop their balloons, like pop, pop, pop. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
simple question.
What did he do? Like, what happened?
You're talking about your mama?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, and then a lot of the women who were American, their opinion was, I'm sitting at the front, his mum has to sit at the back. And we were here, and I was like, if it was me, I'd let your mum sit at the front. Like, it's no skin off my nose. Like, it's just a respect thing. I would rather say, no, it's okay, mum, you sit at the front. And her say to me, oh, no, you sit there. Because most of the time, I would say that's what's going to happen, because she also knows, she just wants to understand that you have a level of respect for her.
Yeah.
And so I think that's fair to say, you know what,
in our culture, we respect, our elders.
Yes.
Whether, it's like there's so many levels to unpack in that specific manner, right? You got your elder, somebody who's older than you, right? Then you got your mother's, your mother-in-law, like, you know what I'm saying? And then at best, it's like this is when you're getting married, or once you're married to a man, this is kind of like your first line of like conflict resolution if you can get through to your son, get through to your husband. You know what I'm saying? So it's like again, those people, in my opinion, who popped and went crazy and started feeling triggered or whatever the case is, are not marriage minded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even if they're marriage minded, that's it. The question is, do you just want a husband or do you want to be a wife?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Do you just want a husband, the title to say, hey, somebody wants me? Or are you here to actually, hey, I want to build a family? Because it's not just about the nuclear family that you're going to build, right? It's about the extended family.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the most amazing relationship. Because, yes, we get it. Some people, human beings are toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at least some level of cordial respect, some level of, like, understanding, right? When you definitely have an understanding that, like, you know, yeah, morally we might not be inclined, right? But respect is still respect.
Yeah. Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? This is the person who gave life to your husband and likely probably even the upbringing, right?
Yeah.
Because the same thing. If it's so crazy because I'm sure these women would have had a different reaction if it was even like something simple as like, oh, it's my dad. Me and my dad. Oh, of course, you man can sit in the front. So it's like, what is this unspoken weird ass competition that you like that women
They were very, very triggered by it, and I just couldn't understand the reason why. I would have preferred, like, don't pop your balloon immediately. Maybe get an understanding from him. Like,
because
why
even it's like, not saying that the question was vague. It wasn't vague. It was pretty direct.
Yeah, it was.
But it was like, the context was not that deep.
Yeah, it really
for
wasn't.
you to freak out.
Yeah, and so I don't want this man because he's gonna ask this question. This could possibly happen.
That was a funny one.
I just couldn't understand
that.
it. You know, there was
it just goes to show you, like, the conflict that people are dealing, the internal conflict that people are dealing with.
That's what I'm saying. It's the cultural difference, because as an African woman, for me, it's not a thing for me. Do you know what I mean? I understand it. And then I saw there was another video that was going around on Instagram where the girlfriend didn't take the mother-in-law's plates when she finished eating. Now, there were some other dynamics to that, right? So I don't want to talk about the other dynamics, but I just want to focus on that thing specifically. Like, the mum has finished eating, like, you didn't take the plate. Like, why wouldn't you take the plate? It's a similar kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? These are all things that are that make up cultural respect. And so if you're not willing to do some of these things, then you don't need to be going after an African man, because that is what is going to be expected of you. And it's not a pride thing to say, but she's a woman, I'm a woman, she's got kids, I got kids. It's not a comparison like that.
You know something that, like, when you were saying that, it just made me thought of, like, we are brought up that way. We are brought up that way that, like, you can see in a functioning household. And even if the household is not functioning, that's why I feel like, even though there's studies on, single mothers and all of that stuff, like, you can, I'm sure if they delve deeper and they see this, the ones even culturally, who have some kind of, like, cultural, upbringing, thrive significantly better than those who have no cultural attachment or none of that stuff. You get what I'm saying?
There are some moral obligations in there.
Yeah, because even in a single parent household in Africa, you can see that the mother will still instill principles of, I don't want to say gender roles, right? But it's, and I'm using that word loosely because in America, gender roles is different. They think it's just, like, men are supposed to do this, women are supposed to. No. It's more like there's some basic skills that everybody needs to know in this house. We all need to know how to cook, clean, and whatever. So whether you're a man, woman, or child, you're going to cook, you're going to clean, you're going to what, like, Chalet?
Yeah.
Like, if I start, y'all want to talk about trauma. What is it? It's like, I remember seeing a post and it was so relatable. It's like, we're not the same. I swept, what was it? I used to sweep dirt off the carpet while you vacuum. We're not the same. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the labor that we used to do as kids. You know what I'm saying? But the carpets. Yeah, sweeping carpets. Like, and they'll still come back and tell you missed the spot. You're not going to sleep till the dishes are done and chores and
Yeah.
what are we talking? What are we talking? It's chores. No, this is not chores. This is we are being raised for this thing called life. You know, so that's why you find a lot of men, African men. And I think this is the aspect of some people that's like attracted. Like, oh, like this man can cook, this man can clean. Yeah, because those are survival skills. Those are not gender roles.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when I'm not around? You can't. You're not gonna. So because there's no man around, you're just gonna let trash pile up in your house. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now, when they're instilling this, i.e., gender roles, you got like enforcements of like, hey, you are the man. You are basically the first line of defense in this household. You know what I'm saying? There are words like as a mother, you can really invoke like strength in people, much less even your son. You know what I'm saying? By just letting them know what their role in this life is. Right? And holding them to that expectation. Like, all right, you're supposed to clean. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You're going to get your punishment. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no grounding.
I wish you would ground me. I love my bedroom. Please ground me. Please ground me.
You were even afraid to go to your bedroom during the daytime as an African child. Much less you're gonna ground me, go to your room. Hell yeah, I was sleep. The way I was sleep deprived. The way I was you know what I'm saying? I was sleep. I was sleep for.
Send me to my room.
Send me to my room.
Please.
You're lucky you're not doing motorcycle. You're not doing it. You do monkey dance, man.
No, that's another aspect. When you have children with this African man, be prepared to raise your children as African children.
African way.
That way. Let's just touch on that because it is also important.
That's a bit of a sensitive topic, right?
It is. Because
when you step into this side of the world, put it like this. The best way I could say is this, right? I remember, I think I watched, there was somebody on Hidden Colors had said this, and it was like basically the way they were able to turn. The way the colonizers came and colonized Africa was by demonizing their ways.
Yeah.
Right? When you demonize the ways and you introduce them to this new religion, this new concept, really, and you make your concept seem superior, and because of the guns, everything that you have, you are able to change the mind of the people. Like, no, your ways is trash. My way is better. Because if your way was better, why would your God forsake you? Whatever, right? Yeah. And I don't want to spiral down into this religious aspect, but in the midst of all of that stuff, at least even back then, there was some level of accord. Like, there was this whole notion of might is right, like spare the rod, spoil the child, like all these things that at least even the colonizer and those there would probably align on, right? Now the demographic of the world is changing, right? You got I guess I won't call it notions. You got, I don't know, theories such as gentle parenting and this, then, and the third, right? And some people will latch onto it, but for the most part, most of us know how the outcome of that is. When you're just trying to calmly shop at Giants and you got that kid throwing that tantrum, like, no, Johnny, stop it, Johnny. No, Johnny, stop it, Johnny. And then all the mother got to do is look at you like, y'all try that. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why there's discipline, right? And I think there's been a line that those who have unresolved trauma, there's some who have actually legitimately gone through abuse, right? And in the lack of them dealing with what their abusers have done to them, now view the world as any form of rhetoric that goes along the spare the rod, spoil the child, it's demonized as abuse. As abuse, right? When you spank your kids, you're abusing them. When you do that, you're abusing them, right? I'm sorry, I'm an African man who has this mentality that, like, listen, I'd rather spank you now than instill this belief in you that you can do whatever the heck you want in this world. Like, we don't have laws. You break the laws. You break these rules. You break this thing. There are no repercussions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but then you have those who take it far. Who's instead of, hey, I'm spanking you to discipline you, and instilling in you that, hey, I told you this more than one time. You You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Whatever the case is, right? This is the repercussion. Some people are just, I am an angry parent. I am coming and I'm just taking my anger out on you.
No, that's different.
You know what I'm saying? I have seen that, and I remember in my previous relationship with my ex, I had to. No, we don't. That's not discipline.
Yeah.
You got some other stuff to take. If especially at that age that they were, it's like we have to have solid baselines of what is, as they get older now, we have to have solid baselines of what is going to take to actually whoop them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my big, especially now, once you have grown, like, of course, when you got like babies and then now you can, like, I don't even believe in whooping children until you can communicate with them.
Yeah.
I got this hot pot of tea, and you see them, and he's like, hey, no, baby Biggs, don't touch it. Baby Biggs, what I tell you, don't touch it. The third time, bloop, I'm gonna flick you. Now you know, like, okay, if I touch this, you're gonna flick me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's, in itself, is a form of discipline. It's like instilling some form of discipline, right? Now, as you get older, I went to the military and said, listen, you're either going to be smarter or you're going to be stronger. You know, I remember, bro, I would be like, all right, listen, you're going to get five lashes or you're giving me 100 squats. What do you want to do? Pick your battle.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be really strong or you're going to be really smart, you know?
Yeah.
And those are things, but you know, sometimes those things even can cause conflicts when people don't understand. They don't understand. Like,
exactly. So for me, when it comes to like discipline like that, I don't think there's anything wrong. And I know everybody has their personal opinions on it. I don't think there's anything wrong with spanking your children to a degree if you're spanking within it's controlled, like you said, and you're explaining to the child why you did what you did to them, and not just leave it so the person is confused. There are definitely limits in that. Limits. Okay, so that's but so whatever I'm saying, take it with a pinch of salt. Do you see what I'm saying? There were times when I was growing up, I remember, like, when I'm in trouble, go upstairs and get the belt. That walk, you know that
that's
walk?
it?
That walk to go and get that belt.
Only that's it. Belt. You're lucky you even got belt. Do you know why? Do you even know why I know what extension cords is? Do you even know?
Yeah. But okay, so some of these examples are extreme, and we wouldn't necessarily use those things today. But still, there are forms of discipline that you can use on your child, and your partner has to be okay with it. They have to support you in it. Otherwise, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And this is again where cultural differences come in.
Sometimes it's not even necessarily. I don't believe. Well, I won't say I don't believe. It's not necessarily a matter of support. It's a matter of, like, these are our children. What do we want to instill in them? What do we both agree on? How to discipline them, and then we go from there. Because it's like sometimes you find some household that want to do this good cop bad cop thing. I feel like that's just that's a necessary manipulative tactic in raising kids. Like, you don't want, and sometimes you even see this in a what do you call African household. And that's what I'm speaking on. It's like dad has to be this fearful person. Everybody's afraid of daddy, so you're always going to talk to mom.
Yeah.
But then mom's still going to talk to dad. But then we'll tell her, hey, polish up the delivery. And sometimes it works, right? But I feel like what works the best is a household where you know that, like, damn, I can't get over on dad, I can't get over on mom. Like, they are one solid. You know what I'm saying? And as a child, when the more you see that, maybe you, as you grow older, you might stray from it, but that core, that is going to be a core memory that you're going to always be able to revisit and be like, you know what? This house run a certain way when things were a certain way. I would rather go this way than everything else that I'm trying that is failing.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things within the Ghanaian culture, I'll speak for Ghanaian culture because I can't speak for all Africa, but it is respect. And that's the thing that a lot of people struggle with, respect. I think once you disrespect a man, it's the end, especially a Ghanaian man.
It's a spiral.
Like,
it's a
to come back from that, it is going to be extremely. Like, they cannot tolerate, and they will not tolerate things like that. Do you know what I mean? And then it becomes a community thing. Like, it's not even just going to remain between the two of you, whatever happens, you know. It goes out. Yeah, because everybody's involved in this relationship.
Everybody's invested in this relationship.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so it's a different thing, and I think we have to be mindful and understand what it is that you're walking into before you walk into it, because it just cause unnecessarily. It's not to say that it cannot work.
Or it cannot be rectified, but these are things that you should be aware of.
Absolutely should be.
I think
we need
just
to take the romanticizing part out of this.
I mean, you can choose to if that's what you want, because I also believe that you can create the reality that you want. But don't be so stuck on romanticizing what it is and fail to realize romanticize what it could be and fail to see what it is. Right? I think, again, whether you're dating an African or an Asian, an Italian, or even a white man, if that's that's whatever, or a white woman, right? Culture. Understanding that person's culture. Understanding that person's and the quickest way to know the person's culture is understanding their upbringing. Right? They might not celebrate what you celebrate. They might learn, like, another culture thing that I feel like sometimes it's not talked about a lot. And I bring this up because it was a problem that was in my previous marriage, when, the culture of, like, house helps. Somebody, like, I remember my ex was, like, freaking out, like, oh, this is slavery, da-da-da-da. It's like, wait, whoa, don't bring that nonsense over here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't understand, like, the system. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad, not saying it's ugly, but it's like, again, you come somewhere, your best bet is to find a way to adapt, to adapt, understand, and then overcome. But people just step in, they want to just overcome the system. They want to, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I don't like this. And then they feel like, hold on, why is this so hard for me to figure out? Because you're coming in here and being disruptive. You're going against the grain. Of course, this is the things that come with going against the grain. Go with the grain, figure out the small nuances that you can change, and those little drips of water becomes a mighty ocean eventually. Because then you'll be like, oh, okay, you know what? I don't know, sometimes, and this is what, I will use that scenario and point. It was like, I think it was just an understanding, somebody's in a village, and this is what most of the time happens, right? Somebody's in a village, like, maybe they're getting in trouble there, I don't know, they're being fast as a kid growing up, or, just becoming a bad child, right? They're whatever, right? And the aunt's like, no, I want to get them out of this environment. I want to put them somewhere better. I want to, like, you know what I'm saying? They already got the skills. So, hey, I'm going to send them over there. There's an understanding. Hey, you're putting them in school. You're doing this. You're doing that. Whatever the case is. And they're there to help around the house. Yeah. That is an understanding between two families. They've come to whatever agreement, and that's what it is. Yeah. Right? Now, how you as an individual treat them is what matters. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to some people, it's like, okay, if this person is here to do dishes, clean, or whatever the case is, don't be an ass and, like, make more dishes. Don't be an ass and like, don't make it an inconvenient for them. Like, find a way to make it as easy for them without necessarily taking away the responsibility. But some people don't see it like that. Some people is like, why are they cleaning up your stuff anyways? It's like, okay, then you clean it up. You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes a conflict. But again, you just got to understand how certain things are in certain cultures.
I think going back to what you said at the beginning, where you said that for a lot of men, their love language is acts of service. And that's the part that I think a lot of
receiving.
Receiving.
Not giving. Receiving.
Acts of service. And I remember in one of our early videos, you said that you want like, if you come back from a long day of work, you want someone to run your bath and stuff like that. Yeah. And then a couple of people were like, somebody actually asked, so if she also works, you still expect her to run your bath?
I mean, so put it like this. This is not listen, I don't want my water bill to go high. I'm not saying this has to happen every day, all day, But if I'm the type of person that when it permits and I'm at work, you know how my day is going. We're talking. If there's some stress at work, if something stressed me out, I've communicated that. If I even want that, like, I'm not expecting you to read my mind. Yeah. Like, I'm prepping. I'm letting you know that, hey, this is what I need tonight. This is what I want tonight. I'm gonna need some quiet time when I get home. Like, I'm communicating. So, when it's coming, and we can discuss that if it comes up where it's like, oh, babe, I'm not gonna be home in time, or whatever the case is. I'm not
a tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
Do it or die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's like, yo, like pick somebody who's really for you or who's really about you, right? So that these things do not feel like the end of the world, or you know what I'm saying?
And it won't feel like that if you're doing it because you want to see the other
Yeah.
person happy. Then it doesn't feel like, oh, I gotta go do this thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like comparing it to when you work for yourself, right? You're self-employed. It doesn't feel like you're going to work every day. Like, oh my gosh, when is it over? Like you're doing the thing because you love it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the same.
Some people.
Yeah.
Some people just like, oh my God, this is again. Some people romanticize
Yeah.
entrepreneurship or having your own business until they realize, like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
went from working 40-hour weeks and now I'm working 120 hours. Like, even in my sleep, I'm thinking about business. This is exhausting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you want to be married to somebody, like you have to love everything and want to make the other person happy, and
You
goes
You have
both
to
ways.
know what their expectations are. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's like, all right, if I want home cooked, it's like I want some home cooked meals. You know, because it just makes more financial sense
Yeah.
that you're eating at home. We go and buy groceries. Like, why the groceries going back when we could be eating them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah, occasionally we could do date nights, but it's like we're gonna go out and eat every time. We're gonna order in every time. It's like,
It doesn't make sense.
what are we here to build? Are we just consumers?
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly, and that's another part, like the cultural part. So even though you may look at some of the stuff as negative, there are positive parts to it as well, because a Ghanaian man will very much be like, I'm the breadwinner, and he'll want to take care of the house like that. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't expect his wife to give him her wages and things like that. So there are actually some benefits to it, but this is how it's
Sometimes,
going to run.
I mean, again, I'm an anomaly, right? You know, a lot of the times when it's like a man doesn't expect the wages, it's not necessarily expectation. It's kind of like understood, because some homes, it's, hey, it's actually the other way around. Like here, the American culture is, his money is my money, my money is my money. Whereas in the African culture, it's like his money is the household money, your money is also the household money, and he's the manager of that pot. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you are a woman who is going out and bringing money, it's like, okay, what is the point of why are you going out and getting money then?
It's contribute, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then it's clearly towards a goal. Like, hey, we want to, I don't know, I'm going to think from a Ghanaian perspective. Like, we want to buy a plot of land. We want to open a container. We want to do this. All right. But if you're at home and you're not capable, or you're not in a position, you're a housewife. Most men also are they're thinking ahead, where it's like, you know what? How can I make this woman also, or how can I put her in a space where she can also take care of herself and the kids? God forbid I'm not here today to continue going to work and back and forth, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's just now happening nowadays where there's even like, you know, life insurance and stuff like that in Ghana, whatever the cases, right? But prior to all of that stuff, the best insurance or assurance was like, you know, having a land, having a farm, having, you know, and in more, I guess, recent times, like setting her up with a container in the house, but, you know, selling a provision store, something. You know what I'm saying? So that when the kids are off to school, she has something to do.
Yeah.
You know, get her a store, might call her, oh, she's selling fabrics. Oh, she's selling this. And most of the time, it's the wife comes like, oh, you know what? My friend is doing this and she's making money. Me too, I want to do something. And then the husband will say, okay, then, you know, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he automatically, he becomes like the seed investor in her business, all of this stuff. But guess what? That money's still not just for her to go and turn up and flex for her friends and say that, we're doing mimosa and brunch no, it's towards the common goal of the household.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is what is missing here, is that me being this, again, anomaly where I've seen both cultures. I'm like, I'm all for my woman going out there and working, but you know this money's coming into this house. You know what I'm saying? We're not on some.
We're not. It's for the betterment of both of you.
We're not like, and it sounds so ridiculous anytime I talk to like an American and they're like, oh, but you know, you're a man, you should want to take that. I was like, who says I don't want to take it? How is that not taking care of my woman?
That actually is, because
You know
you're
what I'm
making
saying?
sure that the house is good.
How is that? Okay, you want to go to brunch with the girls, and okay, let's put out our budget for this month. Does it Like, you know, we did plan to set aside money for enjoyment purposes. Did we go over it? If we did, then let's be like tighten up.
Yeah.
If we did it in despair, if I chose to not use money, I even want to give to you, go ahead and have fun, then that's fine. But if I didn't go out and I say, hey, I also want to use, then hey, then that's my prerogative, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is a heavy topic for me because I feel like in this current demographic, right, women have so much better opportunity to employment than even men do.
I think so.
Yes, in this culture, in here America, you can go to a space, probably have better qualifications than the woman, but because she's a black woman, whatever the quota is for the minority, women inclusion, it's like killing two birds with one stone. We'll take her. You know what I'm saying? We'll take her, and this happens more. So I see this firsthand. You know, sometimes you hear a lot of the noise. Oh, women. I hear the noise, but I have not seen it for myself. The ones what I have seen for myself, what I've experienced for myself, is that a woman steps into space. You got some simps in leadership, and they're like, oh, she's a pretty girl. Let's spoon feed her this stuff and just elevate her, which is cool, bruh. If it's my wife, I'm like, girl, higher pay, so long as you're not doing nothing funny, nobody's got you on your knees doing anything. Like, let's get this money because we all have. Come on, let's be real. I've seen some stuff, right? We all have a plan. Everybody's in this rat race together.
Yeah.
Right? We are all doing everything we can to buy back our time. We also have dreams. We also have ambitions. Like, we are just doing this. This is just a means to an end. It's a stepping stone. Unless you're just one of those people in the field that you love, which is cool too. You can have a partner that's supportive.
But I think it's also important to, because you made a comment about it's easier for women to get jobs, I think it's also to give a healthy balance as well, right? Sometimes women don't get the job, especially if they're in their childbearing years, because, you know, like they feel like, oh, well, if we employ someone, she's only going to go get pregnant anyway. So they don't get the job. So there is some balance in it too, I would say.
In most of the fields that I've worked in, I've not seen that. I was in the military. I didn't really see that. They didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of women in... You know, sometimes you even hear from the women themselves, like, and sometimes you notice that conflict more than anything because a woman who's like higher up knows sometimes what she did to get here, and she's like, I don't want to deal with this stuff from another woman, right? Whereas if it's a man that's in charge, you're like, oh yeah, come on, girl, like we got you, yeah, you know, no, like I was in a position where I was a supervisor. And still, we had to, like, this is the workforce. But we were still having to be chivalrous. Like, you pick this job. Why do I have to go and disconnect this thing? You know this job, go and do it. But no, it's not. It's like, oh, let her do the admin stuff. Oh, let her do you know? So it's like, in some good environments, they basically nurture the girl to be better than, to be in a better position than these men. And the men are just... they're laborers. You feel me? So what I've seen is that, and I can only speak about what I've seen. I've heard stories like, hey, from family members who said like, yeah, oh well, this is how it is. I'm like, damn, like, talk more about that so I know, because I've never seen it firsthand. I can only speak about things I've seen firsthand.
You know,
that field, security field, some IT field, you know.
You know, there's something in Ghana where a lot of parents, husbands, do not want their wives to do office work. Because you just remind me of it when you said get down on your knees. Because a lot of people in that field, it happens. Like, that is
the abuse. It's a power. It's an abuse.
Yeah, it is definitely abuse. Power like abuse, that is exactly what happens. And so there are some industries like your partner will not want you to go into. You married him, he doesn't want you to do that job anymore because he knows what happens.
He knows what can happen while you're under duress.
Yes.
You know, and I've, you know, be it African movies, whatever, right? I've seen how sometimes these things are depicted. And I've even heard from some people how it actually happens. Like, oh, like my boss is giving me pressure, and you know, nobody knows what you think the pressure is. Like, oh, this is due. No, they're just creating a very uncomfortable environment for you, and this is what behooves you as a man, in my opinion, right? To have domain over your kingdom in a sense that like know what it is that you want. If you are business minded, build a business. Find a way that your significant other, your partner, is going to come on board and support this business for its growth, where it's equally beneficial. You know what I'm saying? You have to treat your partner just like an investor. Hey, this is what you put in, this is what you're gonna get out. It's not just, hey, my worker bee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just here to work and then you don't get anything out of it. No. It's like, hey, okay, if you're investing in something significant, you're going to get a significant return. It doesn't make more sense than that.
Yeah.
But, whoop.
Would you say that it's okay for people to mix cultures? Is there anything wrong with it?
I don't think so, but just like mixing water with coffee, it's like the problem with that is the fact that for most people it's uncharted territory. So you have to understand that if you're doing something like that, you have to be a trailblazer. You're going to come across problems that you can't go to this culture necessarily to try and get answers from. You can't go to this culture to necessarily. It's like you got to figure it out. You are now taking matters into your hands and being a creator. You're creating this new institution of thought. Right? So if as a Ghanaian I go to Uzbekistan and now I don't know, Uzbekistan. And now you got a Ghanaian Uzbekistan, like what? Like you know, you if you have something that is like it's going to be so new.
You have to set the rules now.
You have to set the standard. Like. Yeah. And guess what? You're not necessarily going to even be right. Until this thing happens more frequently, there's more Ghanaian Uzbekistan families, and they found a different ways and all of that. They have different set of eyes on the same problem. Then you can start having a cultural understanding. That's why sometimes it's best to even stick in your culture, because these same problems have come up before, right? And so you can go and consult the elders, the people in the community. Then you can, all right, the two of us, if we can't figure it out, then we go to our extended family. They can't figure it out. Then we can go to other communities. If you go to church, talk to them. If you have neighbors, you can talk to them about these problems. But nowadays, you know, you got Instagram. You just post things.
I saw it on Instagram.
You can post things.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
but
it's true. It's very, very true.
Yeah, so it's not. I'm not necessarily against it, but you got to know what you're signing up.
Yeah, absolutely, and exactly. And I think that's the point of this is that it's not necessarily a bad thing to date outside your culture, but just know there's work that comes with it. The things that you're going to have to learn. Yeah, there's some understanding that's going to to happen and things like that. So. Yeah, it's not a wrong thing, but I just think that when it comes to specifically dating a Ghanaian man, take out the romance of it and look at it with clear eyes. To make sure.
Shine your eyes.
Yeah, shine your eyes. Yes.
You know, and some men will even lead with money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
it's true. Let me tell you this. I've said it on camera before, anyway. But I remember there's one time, right? I was buying plantain somewhere and. It was raining, and then this guy came running from somewhere. He came up to me, and he was like, "Let me have your number." I was holding my phone. He was like, "Let me take your number." And he was pulling the phone from my hand, and I was like, well, "I don't want to give you my number." He was like, "Oh, but I can buy you anything." And like in his mind, the fact that he says that he can buy me anything was enough for me to give him my number. I'm like, what kind of nonsense is that? That might work on some people. I was like, where's this guy? Like, he was literally pulling the phone from my hand, like, with aggression. Like, for him, it was his right. You went in the picture, baby. It was his right to take my number. And I just couldn't believe it.
We'll find this man. That's nonsense.
He was like, I can take you to this shop next door and buy you anything you want. And because of that, I was supposed to bend to his will. Like, no thank you.
And he's probably grown that level of vim because a lot of women have allowed that.
Exactly.
A lot of women, you know, a lot of women will be like, shoot, that's what I want.
Yeah.
But you know the funny thing is, they say that, and when they get that, they're like, oh no, I don't want this. Like it comes, what it comes with is too much.
Exactly. Because a man like that, he's gonna give you so many problems. Don't expect him to be faithful to you. That's another aspect.
That's another
We won't go into all of that. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
You know? Mm-hmm. Let's wrap it up. I said I didn't want to do podcast, everyday podcast. Come on, wrap it up.
Everyday
Wrap it up.
podcast.
Wrap it up.
Oh, you secretly like it, don't you?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, because you get to talk. This guy likes talking. Sometimes even sees me, he's talking, and sometimes I'm like, I've spaced out, you know, and then he realizes he's like, oh, am I talking too much?
I don't like to talk.
He loves to
I
talk.
actually don't, but I don't like to talk. I like to think. You know, because when a lot of times I find myself deep in my own thoughts, but it's something different when somebody's actually like asking right questions or different questions that you ask yourself. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe my mind has never thought to think that way simply because nobody's asking that question.
Yeah.
So now you got to think and be like, okay, well, actually, this, you know, so that's what. But I don't like to talk. Yeah, do you know how?
Oh, no. Yeah, he doesn't like to talk.
Go ahead, wrap it up. Wrap it up. I'm ready to go. I'm going to the gym.
All right, guys. So that's the end of today's video. If you'd like to carry on the conversation, drop a comment in the comment section and we will answer your questions. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time, we are out.
I'm tired.
You're so funny. Okay, so we wrap this up. What time is it? Woo, 4:36.
The day's going on.
Nah, that day.
Let's see some of the sun outside.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a package today. You said it maybe. Are you sure?
Yeah. Honestly, going just.
Yeah.